Hello and welcome everyone to the Backstreet Dojo, the home of Tiatsu martial arts, and for today, the adopted home of the Nostos SNC podcast. As always, thank you to everyone for your feedback, for your comments on the previous podcasts, those of you listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and even watching on YouTube. All the comments and feedback you've been giving me is much appreciated. It goes a lot further than you think. So please keep that coming, and just a big thanks again for all of that. Our guest today was another in high demand. When I put out on my story, I got a few replies for this man, so I'm very, very excited to introduce today all you guys to Sensei Tony Newman.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good.
I'm introducing you there as Sensei Tony Newman, so I think a few people would be interested to hear how you acquired that name or that title. So how did you come by that? How do you become a sensei as you are?
Yeah, well, I've obviously studied a long time in martial arts, 50 years now. I got a black belt in Shotokai Karate, or second dan, and moved on to fourth dan in Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. Once you get your black belt and you're teaching that, you become a sensei, which is sort of an instructor, sort of master in your styles, and that's really basically where I got that from. Really, it's more of a teaching sort of master thing, really.
Okay. A mark of respect for sure,
and a mark of respect. I mean, it's a Japanese version, yeah. So it's that's what it's for, really, to respect and that, and basically you're in charge in the dojo.
Yes, you certainly are, which we are here today here in Hamworth, and 50 years in martial arts.
Yeah, long time. I started judo first. Me and my training partner, my martial arts brother, Sensei Steve Gilbert, we started when we was about 10 into judo, and then we went on to karate, met our karate instructor. So we've done about 2 years judo. I was a very light kid when I was younger, very skinny, believe it or not, and got chucked through the floor a few times. And then we went on to striking, which is the karate, which we've been doing all along ever since. And then we went into jiu-jitsu. Sensei done a bit like it as well, Sensei Steve. And we sort of started to develop our own style then, which was called Tiatsu martial arts. We sort of mixed, I suppose, an original MMA, I suppose, really, mixed martial art, really. Okay. From years ago, we decided to train other arts so we can bring it back to our style. So we're ever progressing, hence why we went into K1, kickboxing and MMA as well. Okay. So that's how we sort of developed it, and we went into and just sort of brought it all forward.
Okay.
And still growing. So
when you was 10 years of age is when you started?
Yes, 10 years old, yeah.
Who would you say, I mean, either around that time, as you've grown, I guess Bruce Lee's got to be...
Yeah, Bruce Lee, he was was probably about 2 or 3 years in before we sort of knew about him, and then obviously the clubs got really, really busy. Everybody wanted to be a film star, a martial arts film star, but obviously when they realised the dedication there, they sort of started drifting away. It was quite an old school martial art, really. Our instructor was old school, so it was quite harsh and quite tough.
That's interesting. I mean, we say 50 years in martial arts. Would you say you've ever come away from that at all, or are we like 50
years?
Consistent?
Consistently teaching more, obviously, in the last sort of 20 odd years, I suppose. But I've consistently done it. I did start Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu last year. Okay. And my son, who's instructing now, but I'm trying the time to find it at the moment. We're so busy at the dojo. Sure. But we've always trained, always sort of kept myself healthy, stuff like that, and kept involved in that martial arts stuff, especially the striking side. I mean, my mate as well, Sensei Steve, he's the same age as me. We're 62 now. He's still active, very active. I have to slow him down sometimes, but he's doing well.
Nice. Did you ever compete?
Not really, no. Karate tournaments, yeah. We had quite a few karate tournaments a long time ago. I see 30 odd years ago, done a few of those, got a few places, first, second a couple of times. I did have a kickboxing fight when I was 40. Okay. That was sort of a veteran sort of fight, which I lost, but it was a good experience again to get back in the ring. Okay. But, dedication was hard at that time because I was teaching more then, so I didn't really get the training for it. Sure. But I fought a good opponent as well, so it was good. Okay. Fair play to him.
So wasn't actually for you more about the sport or competing, it was more the love of the training and learning?
It's more the way of life of the martial arts, really. It's I suppose it keeps you under control, keeps your mind healthy, your body healthy, respect, discipline. That's what it's all about, really. I mean, the fighting bit's the last bit, really. It's all about the martial arts lifestyle. It's on our badge. You can see we've got respect mind and body, respect every yourself, get your mind control yourself, and keep your body fit, and that's it really.
Okay.
That's the main parts of it.
I do agree. I mean, I'd love to get your opinion. I'm sure I know what it is based off saying that, but let's say kids of today, children of today, you push them towards martial arts. I know
I'm trying to.
You've got children, grandchildren.
Yeah, I've got grandchildren. My boys do it. My sons have been training since they're 5, and he's 36 this year, and he's gone into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in the last 7 years. He's a brown belt now. My other son Anthony, he's teaching the Tiatsu as well. He's been doing it since he's 5. He's 30 this year, and they haven't stopped a pair of them, to be honest. So I'm very proud of them. And my grandsons are in it as well, and my granddaughters are just starting to come into it. So so they're all getting into it. My wife does it. My daughters have done it. My daughter-in-laws do it. They train hard as well. So the whole family's in it, really.
Business, excellent.
Yeah, we're loving it. And it does keep us all together. We're a close family. It's good.
Nice, excellent. So as we said, we are here in the dojo in Hamworth, which you've recently returned to.
Yes. We was. I was teaching here for 27 years before, when it was youth centre as well, and we wanted to go full time, sort of 7 or 8 years ago. They didn't want to accommodate that really. I thought I might monopolise the building, although there wasn't that many people in there. But we brought most of the people in. But then I sort of went full time to a little dojo in Sunbury, which kicked it off full time really well, and we outgrew it really. And then excuse me, lucky enough, this came back up. The people that was running it, they sort of went under. So I spoke to the council, and we sort of had a good deal with them. We got a year lease at first, but then they realised we was doing quite well, so they gave us a 3-year lease. I've also sponsored the youth club because we've got Garvin Snell, who's doing very well with the kids at the moment. He does a thing called No Shame in Running. It's been on TV, Sky News and all that sort of stuff. And he's running the youth centre really well, and he's got some funding from Brentford Football Club. So they're going to do some paying for some youth leaders to come in and help. So the youth club's doing great, couple nights a week there. And that's the main thing as well for me to get back here is to bring the community back together. I mean, we got loads of kids here. We've got the school behind. I mean we're doing great, and because the council helped me with the rent a little bit, I haven't had to outprice the prices, so
brilliant.
It's kept everybody from the school in. It's doing really well. Like I say, I was there 27 years, and we come back and we've ended up the whole building rather than just one hall. So
brilliant.
Yeah, got everything. So it's good.
And how long was you in Sunbury? Because obviously, when I spent some time abroad in the States, and I dabbled in martial arts, just the training side of it, and I came back, and I wasn't too aware of anywhere in the area. I live in Ashford, but I wasn't too aware of what was going on, what was around. Put out a Facebook status, can anyone point me in the right direction? And I think 10 or 12 people must have given me your name. Yeah. That's how I came across you. I came down to Sunbury and done some training.
That's a great training.
It was very busy. I mean, actually, the funniest thing, now I've just said that, I remember the first time I ever came down, I was actually the only one in the class.
I think you was.
And I spoke to you about doing PT, and you said, I'm too busy to do that. And I ended up getting one anyway.
Yeah, you did,
which was great. It was a good introduction. But then every class was always nice and round, which made for a good atmosphere and good learning. And obviously now, just recently started up with Joe Hughes doing some pad work.
Yeah, Joe's my main man. He's a good boy.
Yes, shout out to Joe. And I mean, I see everything. You'll see it on Instagram, you see it on Facebook. It's always full, especially with the kids. I know for a fact that kids are really kicked off. Which, like we're saying, I think is great because. What better thing to get children into? Yeah,
well, it's like you're saying, going back to the kids of the day. I mean, most of the parents now come up to me and say, they're not even talking about the fighting. They're talking about my kid needs respect, discipline. I mean, obviously it starts at home really, but they get them here. They've obviously got a bit wild, and they come in and they realise that it's not like school. They don't have to come here. So I make them, I'm hard on them sometimes, but there's exactly choices. Make so they come here, and a lot of them are enjoying it. So we're doing all right. I think we had a class the other day with 58 kids in it, which is a lot. That's our K1 kickboxing, but and the martial arts classes are busy.
Sure.
And it's that respect and discipline things. The hardest bit now they get these kids and dedication.
Sure.
I mean, to go.
Which they're going to need later on in life.
Yeah, of course they do.
Certainly something I've always thought about and read about, and when you watch people and professionals and that's what it's about. You're not going to go through life without having to make tough decisions, make good choices. You need to learn to discipline yourself before you can teach a child or anyone else anything.
Well, it's
the
a
maturation
big world out there, isn't it?
process, yes, for sure. Which you can really learn on a mat, rolling around with someone, which is a strange...
And the bond.
Yes,
the bond.
for sure.
There's a lot of kids who probably didn't get on well at first with each other in school and that, and now they're all best mates.
Yeah.
We're sort of, we're building a sort of army of friends, if you know what I mean. They're all getting on well, they'll respect each other. I mean, they have a proper little tear up one minute, and next minute they're best of mates and having a laugh about it afterwards.
I think people were surprised about that. People who aren't around the martial arts game, MMA, K1 boxing, and it's not about trying to kill each other, and it actually might be when the bell rings. That's fine.
Of course, it's different. Yeah, of course, it's.
But it is that's where the competitive. That's where the sport part of it comes in.
Yeah,
it's a sport. You're trying to win. They're trying to win.
Yeah,
you've done a camp. They've done a camp. But as soon as it's over.
Yeah. We had a boy out Saturday. He had a fight Saturday. Young lade's only 20. He lost unfortunately in the first round, but he went out a bit wild. He's still unexperienced, but straight after his bloke said, "Oh, do you want a beer?" They had a beer afterwards. Fair play to him. I don't like him drinking beer, but there you go.
No, of course. Like I say, I think that's a surprise to people who haven't tried it. And there's so many people that comment on professional fights. Yeah. Who are sitting on the sofa, never done an ounce of training in their life, and they know what they would do and whatever. But definitely nothing. Me personally, is nothing more humbling than being on a mat, being tapped out. Yeah. Having a little spar, taking one on the nose. Exactly. You quickly learn to ask the right questions.
You humble yourself a little bit.
Be sensible.
Yeah. I mean, it was great when I went. Obviously, my son was teaching me the BJJ. I mean, I loved it, and I've got boys here who I've been teaching as well, and they're tapping me out because I don't know that game. Sure. I've got Japanese jiu-jitsu, but the groundwork weren't quite as technical as the Brazilian. So stand-up was all right. Once I got me on the floor, I had to learn new. So it's good. Yeah, it's very humbling. Very good.
And that is the crazy thing about mixed martial arts as a sport, and obviously that's come on a lot over the last 10, 15, 20 years. Oh yeah. The UFC and Bellator, all of these things, but. It's one thing to fight K1, and we've had a few people on previous who have fought K1 and amateur boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, but to be in a cage like we're in now, and it's I won't say there's no rules, but
it's definitely the ultimate fighting, which is what it's called.
It's pure hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, we did quite a bit when we was younger. As our instructor, obviously, was quite ahead of his time, really, because. We used to do like karate sparring with takedowns and sort of judo stuff, really, and the groundwork. Not to the extent of Brazilian jiu-jitsu, but it was still good. It was really good. So, I mean, it's a massive sport, isn't it? And hopefully
on
everybody's
the rise, completely.
Yeah, and if everybody goes there with the right attitude, and you go there with a few egos, we soon knock that out of them, and they'll start it done.
Sure. So, I mean, in the world of fighting. Most recently, Tyson Fury got the win over Deontay Wilder. What did you think of? Did you watch it?
I did. I watched a lot of it. I did watch all of it. I'm not really a great boxing fan, but I do watch the big fights, and I quite like Tyson Fury. I mean, I think he's a bit more relaxed puncher. He's a bit like Muhammad Ali, I suppose, in a way, without the footwork. But he's that relaxed puncher rather than drawing punches. The power. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very big. Yeah, but he's got that sort of nice, relaxed, sort of fast punching. I think, and that's what Dante obviously struggled with. Yeah, so trying to throw the big right, and obviously he's done his own work.
For
Tyson,
sure,
without a doubt.
For sure. I mean, I think for me, he certainly was in control. A lot of people have been saying that. I think he's up there with the best boxers around. Definitely. I think you have to say that, because Deontay Wilder, I'll say he doesn't look like a boxer. No, he also doesn't throw, and even during that fight, you always felt like if he connects with the right.
Oh yeah, he's always had a punch chance from day one, because he can smell the people he's knocked out.
But I think Fury really put on a bit of a boxing clinic there. To be fair,
definitely. Yeah, I thought it was very good to watch. Yeah.
Do you think if they make the fight with Anthony Joshua, he stands a chance, or does he?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't watch a lot of it. What I've seen of Tyson Fury at the moment, I think he's definitely he'll probably give him his hardest fight, and I reckon he could probably beat him actually, unless obviously AJ does his own work and he changes his game.
Sure.
It's all down to that. If you don't change your game, then you feel the same fight all the time, then especially with everything like my fighters, with YouTube, everybody can watch you.
Yeah.
So if they watch you and they say, I'll fight out, I'll change my fighters every time. I'll give them something different every time to do.
Excellent. And mixed martial arts, the UFC.
Yeah.
Notably, our favourite fighter on this show, Conor McGregor.
Me too.
So he recently fought and beat Cowboy.
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
Yeah, great. I think he's started to get a bit humble again. I think he's had his mad moment and come back as a true martial artist, which he is really.
Sure.
And I think Cowboy didn't really do his own work. I think he obviously stayed back and relaxed. I mean, obviously McGregor's a genius really in a way. He knew how to fight him, and he does with everybody normally.
I think
he found a way of working around him.
I've asked I've asked people in the know, Ish Kurdi, who was on, who's from here, and I asked the question, and I'm going to ask you: was the fight was over quick?
Yeah.
Is McGregor that good?
Yeah.
Or was Cowboy that bad on the night?
I thought McGregor was that good. I don't think Cowboy changed his game.
Okay.
Because he sits back a little bit, doesn't he? And I think McGregor played it for a fast start.
A lot of people still throwing shade on McGregor. He's not the real deal.
I don't know.
I mean, how many fights does he need to have, do you think, until...
Exactly, yeah. I think he obviously went through a moment where I think, disrespect him a little bit, I think the money got to hold him a little bit. And,
I think as it would.
Yeah, and he would do, wouldn't
Ireland.
he? Yeah, exactly. He started off with nothing, he's built himself up.
He's made a few mistakes. I actually think he's handled it quite well.
That's what I'm saying. He's
overall
humbled himself, hasn't he? I think he's great.
I think especially after the Diaz loss was a big momentum derailer.
Yeah.
And he really got that back in.
Yeah, I
couldn't have got any better for him.
I mean, Cowboy, like I say, he fought his same game he normally does. He sits back a little with a slow starter.
Yeah. And
if I was McGregor's trainer, I'd say, well, he's a slow starter, let's start fast. Get in there and do it.
Makes sense.
What he did, didn't he?
Simple as that.
Yeah.
And Conor McGregor, just as a martial artist, do you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think
he's
typical. You can see he's put the work in over the years. I mean, dedication-wise,
that's the bottom line.
Yeah, he's put the dedication. That's what I say to all my students. If you dedicate yourself to anything, you'll be good at it.
It takes a long time to become an overnight success.
It does. Yeah,
you don't just do what he's doing because he's lucky.
No, he's definitely learning. I like the way he fights as well. I've got a young lady who fights a bit like him.
Really?
Yeah, he's got that sort of martial arts stance more.
Very unorthodox. Would you say he's like a modern day martial artist? I mean,
yeah, I think he's in MMA.
Right,
different in K1.
Because he came from boxing.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
a little bit of boxing background.
I think if it comes to, obviously K1 is a different game. I think he might struggle with that a little bit. But then saying that, he'd probably dedicate himself to that if he had to do it.
Sure. So, I mean, strange how we're saying, MMA is such a wide, everything you've got to prepare for, yet if you take any of those individual martial arts, you might think McGregor might struggle, but you put him in here and it's all of them.
Well,
and he's probably the best at it.
Oh, he is, yeah, of course he is, yeah.
I
think he is. I think he's
makes him, what makes him special, I guess.
No, I think so, definitely.
Okay, so the fighters that you have here at the dojo.
We've got.
How many did you say you've got? I mean, I'm sure the list is endless.
I've probably got about 10 or 15 active at the moment, I think.
Professional, amateur, or
professional? We've got Ish Kurdi, obviously MMA. We've got Vinny Church, K1. Farron Church is a new era at the moment, which is a sort of between amateur and pro K1. Who else we got? Charlie Harris, another one. He's coming through nicely. Billy Fletcher. We've got young Mason Herring. He's had a pro fight now. He's only 18. Got some good young boys coming through. I think Vinny's back on Muay Thai Grand Prix. Hopefully in April, it might even be a title. It's not confirmed yet. His younger brother Farron, always been the martial artist. He's done a lot of karate, jiu-jitsu with me. Done a lot of it over the years. And it's starting to come together. It's a bit like the McGregor story. He sort of brought it together and it's now working. He sort of started fighting, he was a bit young and he sort of struggled a little bit with nerves. Then he had a couple of good K1 fights. Had an MMA fight not long ago, last year. Got caught with a body shot, which stopped him. But he's a lot more dedicated now. And he's always been dedicated. He's always came. But just that, he's turned into a young man now. He fought a couple of weeks ago on Super Fight Series. Which we had another pro fighter of ours, Chase Morton. He's a pro K1. He won the Super Fight Series European Championship. Charlie Harris won, and Farron put a fantastic display on. They want him in a 4-man tournament in April. 2 of our junior kickboxers, the K1 boys, the under 12s, my grandson won the European title, International Kickboxing Federation, and young George Pauling, he won the under 14s IKF European Championship. There's about 100 Dutch people there. There was from all over the place, so we had some we had some good stuff, and we got a lot of young lads that had kickboxing titles. So yeah, it's all now we've got this sort of full combat training facilities. Joe levels. Hughes has named it.
Yes.
We got more time, so they can train more. They can come here when we're not here, when it's just open, and get that extra bit of training. And I think that's what a lot of them are coming through now. We've had a good 5-win streak at the moment, winning. And unfortunately, the boys Saturday lost, but that's just the experience, really.
Part of the game. And how do you feel about, you mentioned 12, 14. I know there's a lot of, within kids sports these days, they're trying to protect them a lot. I know in levels of football, they don't keep score and stuff like this. There's not winners and losers. Kind of hard to do that in the fight game. How do you feel about losing?
A lot of the boys, they do these interclubs now, a lot of the clubs, so we're going to be doing one here soon. Storm Gym do a big one, a really good one, but anybody under 14 only does body contact only. Okay. And they've got the pads on, they can knee as well still, but everything is full contact, but body only. And they have draws, but when it comes to competition-wise, there's winners and losers. I think it's got to be.
If you want
to advance to be a champion, then you've got to learn to lose.
You need to learn to lose, how to come back from it, how to deal with it, process it.
It's like my grading system. Our kids grade, but if they don't pass, they fail. A lot of associations, they just pass for turn up because they've done the grade and they paid a load of money. If they don't pass, they don't pass. Yeah. Otherwise, in life, since some get a little bit down for it, they go, so you get a few kids. I've had a couple of kids don't come back, maybe 2 out of 50. Okay. But the rest come back. If they come back, I said, well, that's it. You're doing well. You've passed that grading, really. So next time you should pass it because you come back.
Sure. That's the way to do it. So what exactly is it you guys coach here? We've mentioned K1.
Okay, right. So we coach
different classes and stuff.
Yeah, we've got different classes. So we got like a women's pad work, kickboxing K1 pad work class. That's quite popular with the women. That's the women only. We've got adults pad work classes, and then we've got K1 classes, drills and skills, sparring. We've got kids K1. We've got 5 to 10-year-olds Tiatsu martial arts, 10 to 15-year-olds Tiatsu martial arts, 16 over adult martial arts, Tiatsu. We've got the BJJ class going now. My son's he's doing gi on a Tuesday, no gi on a Friday, which mixes in with our MMA guys as well. We got an MMA adults class on a Monday night at 7. So we got all classes. And then obviously they can use the open dojo areas, so they can come and do their own thing.
And people do one-to-ones with you and Joe as well.
Yeah, I've got me and Joe Hughes do the one-to-ones. Yeah, we do all of them. We've got quite a few between us now. Joe's getting very popular now.
Good.
He's doing well.
So he should.
Yeah, Joe. Yeah. Good shout out to Joe. He's been a great man. He's a great asset to the dojo as well.
True martial artist.
He is true. Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, he's a good boy.
Leading into.
I also got a guy. Sorry, so I've got a guy called Steve Reno who helps me a lot as well. He's been with me 20 odd years, and he's always the corner man when we go into fights. He's always here with the sparring class, helps everybody. So he's great. Yeah.
Brilliant. So part of true martial arts, as well as training, looking after the body, is abstinence from alcohol.
Yes.
Whether some people know that or not. That's
I give it a lot of
ingrained within martial arts. However, the modern day martial artist, perhaps not. But
exactly, yeah. I'm
maybe rare
I'm very old school in that way. I've stuck to it. I stopped drinking when I was probably 18. I didn't really drink a lot anyway. And I haven't really drunk until maybe late 50s, on holiday more.
So almost 40 years.
40 odd years non-alcohol. Yeah, I don't agree with it. I think it plays with your mind. You're not the person you should be when you're drinking. You're a different person. It causes a lot of issues. I've got a lot of mates who've been through alcoholism. They pulled through, done well. But it does destroy a lot of lives sometimes. Probably a little bit deep. I don't agree with it really, especially if you're training. I've got boys say, I'm on it now, I'm training. Next minute there's a picture on Facebook, they're in the pub. That's part of the sacrifice. The sacrifice to be a champ. Drink, and that you can do it afterwards if you want to. I don't agree with it, but if you want to, you can do it.
It's not necessarily something you enforce. You'd like to see it
I put a lot of grief out on Facebook.
Yeah, I do enjoy seeing a bit of that. Yeah.
I do.
You call them out.
Yeah, I do, and some get upset about it, but it's not personal. I just say it to everybody.
I don't necessarily disagree with that. Being a PT and a coach myself,
exactly,
you have people who talk the talk. Oh, Tom, I'd really like to lose some weight. I'd really like to do a little bit more training. And then when their actions don't match up, it's
exactly.
I thought you wanted to do that.
There's no way. I mean, you get talented fighters. They're the best. So talented fighters, they win and win and win and win, and then they sort of sit back a bit and they think, well, I'm winning, so I don't really need to train as hard. And then they go to a big fight and they lose it because they go out drinking and that. They think they've got natural talent. Natural talent's no good on its own. No. It needs to be your physical fitness as well. Natural talent's no good because all you're doing is when you're going up in the levels, people start sussing you out. So you've got to change the game.
Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Yeah, exactly right.
So they say. So yeah, I mean, going into that, would you say your fighters, do your fighters adhere to that during camp, let's say?
Yeah. I mean, 99% of them do. Yeah,
is that something you try and enforce as much as possible?
Yeah, I do. I say to them, like, if you're in fight
for their
camp,
own
you're in fight camp. Yes, exactly.
Even for yours.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's for them. I want them to win or do their best. They don't have to win, but do their best.
Yeah.
If there's one little bit where they've maybe had a little bit of puff or they've had a drink and that halfway through that camp and they lose, then that could be the reason.
You could point at the finger.
I could turn around and say, well, if you've done everything you can, you lost, then fair enough.
Exactly. You've given your best. You've done everything you could do.
Because you only lie to yourself.
Yes.
You can cheat as much as you like, but you lie to yourself. You might be thinking you're lying to me, but at the end of the day, if you haven't put the work in and you haven't got the result, that's your own fault.
And it's one thing to commit to 3 days a week at the gym and only make 2. Yeah. And you go home, you're like, oh, whatever. It's another thing to step in a cage or a ring in front of all your family and friends, come up short because of your actions.
Yeah, because of your actions.
Because of your shortcomings.
Right.
I don't know why people would want to do it.
Our philosophy when we was younger, me and Sensei Steve, was like, if all our mates used to go out, and we used to go out as well and enjoy ourselves with them. And, I never drunk anyway then, but we, they say, oh, we're going out tonight. What about you? You still going training? Yeah, we'll go training and meet you afterwards. Yeah, it's the other way around with some people. They say, oh, I can't go training tonight because I'll go out. We say, no, we're going training tonight first, then we'll go out.
What's your priority? It's pretty straightforward.
And that's the dedication bit. That's the hard bit.
Just out of interest, you being a 50-year veteran of martial arts, obviously no one knows. It's a funny society we live in. I'm going to go back to like football, being on football pitches, little scuffles, being out in a bar, someone bumps you or whatever. You see a lot of people who are very quick to, let's take it outside, blah, blah, blah. Do you experience a lot of that? Obviously, you're not in pubs that often.
I've done about 10...
that people don't know who you are?
Yeah, I've sort of done 10 years on the door before.
Okay.
I've done door work and I've been a bodyguard as well. But, I think probably the door work, the bodyguard was pretty easy compared to the door work. I've had scuffles, a couple of pubs. I was sort of all right because a lot of people knew me anyway, so I could sort of talk them out of it. Yeah, I've had a few scuffles about to sort people out. Yeah.
And the funny thing as well is if someone was to start, I guess, and if you or someone with you said, "Listen, mate, you need to take a walk. This ain't for you."
Yeah.
That even more so then.
That's actually happened to me.
Yeah. So you're trying to be honest and say, please.
Yeah, a friend of mine that happened to
once.
I was on the door as well in the pub. Yeah, they said, "Do yourself a favour, don't." And I was sort of saying, "Can't, mate, go," and he thought he'd go for it, but
oh no,
didn't very well.
You don't want this sauce. No, that's cool. Okay, I mean, you're a very busy man. I appreciate your time coming on the show.
That's right.
I want to thank you for that. Thanks for the hospitality.
No problems, mate. No problems.
In the dojo. Any last mentions or shout out from yourself?
Obviously all my training partner says he's Steve. He's like a brother to me. I love him to death. I say we know each other since we're 5 years old anyway. He's a founder member of me with Tiatsu Martial Arts. Obviously Steve Reno, been with me 20 odd years. Joe Hughes, great help with the dojo and the running of the dojo as well. Obviously Anthony running my son Anthony Newman and my other son Josh Newman running classes for me now, which is great. My brother Adam is working for me now. I've got a full-time dojo, so he's helping out, which is good. He's doing well. He's actually started training himself a little bit now, which is what I want him to do.
Brilliant.
All my little helpers who help me with the kids, Amelia, Lois Spoyle, Peter Knight, Carty Hughes, Harrison Boyle. There's a few of them. Sorry if I've forgotten to be old Jodie Humphreys. They've all helped me in the dojo, which is great. And Giuseppe Newman helps my other son with the kids and that. Yeah, so
nice.
If I've missed anybody, I do apologise. There are a lot of you, and I appreciate all your help. Thank you.
Love it. And I'm sure the missus had your back for.
Yeah.
50
Yeah.
years.
Well, behind every good man's a good woman. I must admit, I have got the. You know, I'm not just being sick. I have got the best woman in the world behind me. No, Hazel Newman, love you. I mean, she's never stopped me doing anything. She's always been behind me 100%. And, you know, a lot of people say to me, oh, does your wife mind you being out every night? But it's like she says, when he's not down the pub, he's not taking gear or on the piss or anything. He's there doing something good for the community, and she's quite happy with that. She's great, yeah.
That support's key.
So I know all my kids, my daughters as well, and grandkids.
Brilliant.
Fantastic.
All right, thanks again, my man. Much appreciated, sir. And you guys can catch this on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and you can watch this on YouTube. I will catch you down the road.